I came across this video on YouTube. I've been watching it and I thought it was a very popular video, but I've got mixed emotions, mixed feelings about this video. You will see why, and I will give you my opinion.
So how do you close a sale when one of your competitors undercut you? Let's say that you gave the prospect a proposal with different quotes in it, and they're also getting different quotes and bids from some of your competition. And they say something like this to you. They say, first of all, go down to the bottom of this video, hit...
Producer, this is not what I want in our videos, okay? Because now I'm confused. Let's continue.
They say, hey, you know, XYZ company gave us a quote that's cheaper than yours. Can you give us a better price? Now, instead of just giving them a better price where they commoditize...
Giving them a better price is never a good idea. And first of all, ending up in a price discussion is already not a good idea.
You now they're going to go back and forth and negotiate you down. You want to get the prospect thinking results-based thinking rather than price or cost-based thinking.
Now we're talking.
So here's how you do it. I'm going to give you a generic example of how to start that conversation, and then at the end I'm going to show you how it works in like an industry-specific example so you can see the framework that we're using.
I already see a question on this, by the way, beautiful digital board that I would not ask. But first let him talk.
Hey, can you give me a cheaper price? Like company XYZ gave us a lower bid or a lower cost or a lower proposal. First of all,
I'll promise you, at the end of this video, I will give you a way how to solve that, and not by doing this.
You want to find out what that quote actually is and what it's actually for. So you do it like this. Yeah, not a problem. Can I ask what quote?
It is a problem. Why do you ask that? The reason why a customer is asking it is because you made already the mistake in the conversation itself. It's about the value, it's not about what it costs.
They gave you, and for what specifically? Now, why do you want to ask that question? Because you have to realize a lot of your prospects just lie to you. They might not have even met with one of your competitors. They might be just...
I wouldn't call it lying. It's a little bit of disrespect towards your client, right? I would call it getting into a position to have a negotiation with you. Sounds way better, isn't it?
Just saying that to try to get you to come down on your price. So you have to understand that. If they can't show you the quote or the proposal, then you know that that's probably what they're doing. Now, so let me go through this again. Yeah, that's not a problem.
I'm a boomer, I know, but I'm really curious because a lot of you guys out there are way younger than I am. And if you listen to a story like this, what is it that you actually think? Do you think, oh well, yeah, wow, or do you think it's a little bit old school? Even I think it's a little bit old school, and I am older. I'm 52 years old.
Can I ask what quote they gave you and...
It's a close question. That's never good. Sorry, man.
For what specifically, just so I have a better understanding? Well, yeah, they said it's...
Oh, man. I already said it to you. I've got mixed emotions about it because, well, let me start first that if you ask a question and you have to explain your question, it's never a good thing. It's got nothing to do with sales. It's got everything to do with communication. If you want to ask a question, just ask it. Don't explain why you asked the question. So can you explain to me where the price is coming from? And then the explanation starts, because then I understand a little bit better where it's coming from. Isn't that relevant?
It's going to be this for A, B, C, or for D, F, and G. Ah, okay. Can you go through the proposal with me specifically just so I understand? Because, you know, maybe you're better off going with them. That just...
Okay, this is America. Probably you guys in America sell different, right?
Disarms a prospect where they're open to going through what that company proposed to them so you know exactly what you're dealing with. That way you're not guessing, throwing mud against the wall, hoping and praying that something you're going to say is going to stick with them and they're going to buy, okay? Now, here's where we start to get them thinking results-based thinking. I'm going to move this up here for you, okay? Yeah, they gave us, you know, XYZ cost for A, B, and C, and you find out specifically what the cost is and what it was for. Then you say this, well, it really just depends on what type of result that you actually want. I mean, is price the most important thing to you?
Yes. Come on, guys. I understand that it's always a little bit difficult. But if somebody says to you, I've got a quote from somebody else with a better pricing, You have to listen very carefully what it is that they say. Is it that they say, okay, I just want to have a discount. You need to lower your price, which means that they already bought from you. If that's the case, you only have to say, great, so let's do business then. You will be surprised how your customer responds to that. If you have the feeling where you say, okay, it's not a done deal yet, I need to create a little bit of value. The first thing that you can ask is, okay, what is it that you compare it with? Then you hear the competition, you hear other people, and then you already have a little bit of an understanding what's going on. Another question that can be very helpful is that you ask, okay, I understand that pricing is important, but next to the price, what else is important to you? And if you do not get an answer from that, you could always say, okay, I understand that pricing is important, but I'm just wondering, what's more important to you? More revenue or more margin? In other words, you give somebody an alternative. They both should be positive. People always choose. That's how the brain works. They make a choice. Then you can ask in-depth questions again, so you get away from the price a little bit. Because it's like a scale, you know? I mean, this is the amount of value that you get, and this is the price that you have to pay. If there's no value, what will happen? Price will go up. If you offer a lot of value, price, the other way around, value, the price will go up. That's how it works, right? And there's price elasticity, and there are a lot of things that play a role as well. Best advice, stay away from the price. Make sure you do a proper analysis already in the beginning. If you have to fix these things at the end of the conversation, it's never going to be a good deal.
Or solving the problem and actually getting the result you want. Now, what did I just do there? When I said, now is price the most important thing to you, or actually solving the problem and getting the result you want? Is price the most...
Okay, I understand what he's trying to do here, which is basically not bad. He also gives the client an alternative and let the customer think a little bit about the value that they can create with the things that you're selling. I think that can be done way smoother and faster.
Important thing to you? Look at my hands. Is price the most important thing to you, or actually solving the problem and getting the result you want? See how I'm using my hands? Price-based thinking, results-based thinking. That question flips their mind where they start thinking about the result, the end result, not the price. You don't want your prospect thinking of the price, because then you're going to get commoditized with everybody.
But then you end up with the people from procurement. These things do not work anymore there.
Else and compete on price. You want to be able to get them thinking results-based thinking, because every salesperson in your industry doesn't know how to do that like I'm showing you how to do it, all right?
That's a bold statement. That's a real bold statement.
Now, they're going to say, well, yeah, I want the result, but if we can, they might say, yeah, I mean, definitely the result's more important. Or they're going to say, well, I mean, we definitely want the result, but, you know, price is important too. Or they might say, we definitely want the result, but, you know, if we can get a better price, that would be good. Then you can say, if they say that, you're going to go here. I'm going to show you this. Can I, yeah, that's not a problem. Can I make a suggestion to you? This is after you've seen the quote and the proposal, you know what it is. What they quoted you is for X, Y, and Z, which actually only does A, B.
I don't know how it is with you guys, but I lost it a little bit, to be honest. It's a little bit too much right now.
B and C. Now, I'm being generic for a reason. You have to plug in that gap. Now, we could give you that exact same quote for that, but like I said, it just depends on the end result that you want. So let me go over that again. What they quoted you was for X, Y, Z, which only does A, B, and C. So now you're getting them to think like, oh, maybe the company that gets...
Okay, if you don't mind, this is a React video because this is the honest CEO. And I'm very honest about this. I don't think this is going to work. This is way too complicated. First of all, he's talking about completely different offerings. And in a lot of situations, your clients are not stupid. They know exactly what it is that they're going to buy. They can make a very good comparison. So they know exactly that what it is that you offer is the same as what your competitor is offering, more or less. And at the end of the day, even if it's not exactly the same, it's about the functionality, right? I will explain to you very quickly how you can do that. If somebody comes up and says, okay, I want to have a better price, I want to have a discount, which is something completely different when people say you're too expensive, you look people in the eyes and you ask them, fantastic, so we're going to do business. They can react in three ways. They can say yes, they can say no, and most likely they will say, Well, yes, no, it depends on how much discount I get. I'll promise you, it's one of the important laws of negotiations. Only negotiate on a given agreement. So before you start your negotiations, you need to get a yes first on the following question. If I adjust my offer, we're gonna do business right now. If they say yes, you can do something. Keep in mind there are other laws of negotiations as well. So if you give something away, always ask something in return. The problem I have with the solution that I just gave to you is that you have to give something away. You have to do something. So it's better to stay away from it. So if somebody says to you, your prices are too high, you should you should do something with it. Then the first question is where do you compare it with? And they say, of course, the competition. And then the next question would be, where do you compare it on? And they probably will say price. And then you look at your customer and you say, okay, yeah, I understand that. But I was just imagining it. If the prices would be exactly the same, which is not the case because you just told me, but if prices would be exactly the same, would you give me the deal? What a lot of people will say is yes or no. And there's also something in between, but let's make it easy for today. If they say no, you can always ask, okay, what is it that I have to do then in order for you to give the deal to me? And then they probably will say you have to lower your prices. And then you can make a hypothetical question in a way like where you say, okay, I understand that, but just imagine that I would lower my price. And besides the fact that I have a lower price, what will be the reason then for you to buy from me? So you exclude the pricing and you're gonna find out what the customer sees as added value. The problem here is that if you haven't put any added value in the conversation itself, you will not get an answer you're gonna like. Okay, that's basically what I wanted to give to you. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.